Today, I'm here to ask you to think of how the future is happening now. How technology is beginning to transform industrial sectors that play a huge role in our economy and in our lives. Energy, aviation, transportation, healthcare. For an economist, this is highly unusual, and it's extremely exciting because this is a transformation as powerful as the Industrial Revolution and more.
It's a pleasure to have you here today.
Pleasure.
I'm so excited about this. This is by no means standard. I mean, we've had a great testimonials in the past. They're all good, but something tells me that this experience today is gonna be different.
This new technological revolution is upon us. So think about the future. It will be here soon enough. I've always been curious about solar power because it's part of the energy transition. Everybody talks about it. I'm originally from Europe, and every European country, including Italy, has its own schemes and subsidies. So I was genuinely curious. Why a generator and why not solar? So that is actually how the process, how the thinking started. And then both my wife and I love doing research, so we did a lot of research. I spoke to a few companies. We spoke to a few companies, and then we spoke to you. So the first impact on our lifestyle, I would say, peace of mind, and that is huge. The second one is having solar makes you more aware of how solar power works. So you start looking more hour by hour, how much power am I actually generating? You look out the window, what's the weather like? How much power is coming through? How am I doing compared to consumption?
It's saving me money, right?
How much money am I saving? But it makes you a lot more aware of the production and consumption of energy in real time, and that's extremely fascinating. I never decided I want solar panels, I want solar because I want to save the planet. I didn't. Then in addition, you think, okay, and on top of that, of course, we are harnessing free energy from the sun, which we should be doing anyway in the right ways and in the right setups. And so to the extent that my own solar system takes pressure off the grid and therefore helps the transition towards more sustainable power, makes me happy. But the decision was definitely driven by financial considerations. It's an investment, so there is an upfront cost to put the system in place. The government helps you with tax credits, which is great. And then over time, you save, actually from the very beginning, you save money on your electricity bill because you're producing your own electricity. This is an engineering work. It's not, we talk about putting solar panels on the roof, but it's not the easiest thing. There is a lot of technology behind it. So the most important thing is the technical proficiency behind it.
What homeowners and GCs, like in this case, when building their new houses should look for on a solar partner is a company that comes and works closely with them all the way from the design to the execution. A company that comes and attends a coordination meeting, a company that for their engineering background can work closely with trades like the electricians, the roofers, and all the other trades involved on the execution of the projects. In our case, we were part of this project all the way from the beginning. We were involved on the design of the electrical system. We were involved on the design of the roofing. And here we are basically installing this beautiful system on this beautiful house.
In the conversations we had, what we liked a lot was your responsiveness. You were always there. When we had questions, you would call us back immediately and we would talk. You clearly had the technical expertise. You were very direct in helping us understand what solution could be right for us. So you were clearly making an effort to try to understand what were we looking for, what were our priorities. I had the impression of talking to somebody who was very clear and very transparent and saying, this is what the system can do, this is what the solution can do, this is what it cannot do, these are the risks we'll be looking through. So those are the parts of our experience that really made us comfortable going with you. When you think of the monthly savings which run into the hundreds of dollars on your electricity bill. When you think about the fact that you have a backup system, so once you put in solar panels and batteries, you have a backup system, so in case the grid goes down, if there is a storm, anything happens, your house will continue to function. So if I were looking at a house to buy, and I were looking at a house to buy with a solar system which has these capacities, I would say, okay, it saves me this much in electricity bills on a monthly basis, and it gives me the peace of mind of having backup power that immediately has monetary value. So it definitely adds value to the property. I have two apps on my phone, your own app and the Tesla app, and from those I can see how much power my system is generating in real time. So I can see how generating is and how much am I consuming. So I can see how much power I'm creating from the solar panels, how much of it is feeding into my house to get the air conditioning going, to keep the food in my fridge cold, and how much of it is instead being sold back into the grid, which during the waking hours is often the case, which can be addictive, right? The pleasure of looking at it, especially in the first days, and seeing how the system is performing depending on the weather conditions.
On the weather conditions, yeah.
Post-installation, also the experience has been excellent because there has been great communication, very proactive from your side, trying to figure out, okay, is it working? Not just asking me whether the system is working, but also checking on your side, on your systems, keeping an eye on how my system is working. This is a long-term process, right? So, and it's not new technology, but for most users like me, it's new experience. So my advice would be look into it, talk to different companies, definitely also talk to PayOli because you guys are willing to invest the time to explain things clearly and professionally. And then once you've gotten the information, make a decision. Make a decision. Again, as an economist, I would also advise your potential customers, don't do it as an emotional decision, don't do it to save the planet. Do your numbers, make it as a financial decision, but get the information, then draw your conclusions.
I love this conversation. Again, we can go on for hours and hours talking about this and some other cool stuff, about your blogs and everything else. And we'll have some time to, to talk about that for sure. But thank you again for your time today.
It was a pleasure.